Welcome to Tech with Heart. I am your host, Michelle Calloway, and today we are talking about tech health. Tech with Heart Foundation and Tech with Heart Network is all about empowering entrepreneurs to be successful in a digital world. And today we actually have somebody in the health area talking to us about tech health. So let me go ahead and straight up introduce her to you, because this is going to be a really interesting Tech with Heart interview. I want to introduce you to Dr. Melissa Balazan. She is an author, speaker, and a pharmaceutical consultant, and she's trained in both Eastern and Western medicine. She normally works with women, and she takes a holistic approach to helping them with their physical, mental, and spiritual health. One step at a time moves you closer to a better quality of life. Welcome to the Tech with Heart show, Melissa.
Thanks for having me, Michelle. I am so honored to be here.
I can't wait to dive in. I know so many people who struggle with technology, and that's one of the reasons I felt led to step into a leadership role, to bring experts like you to the table to have conversations that are going to enlighten and empower entrepreneurs to embrace technology. So let's get started, shall we?
Yes, I'm ready.
Yes, let's do it. So what is the impact of technology on your health? What, in your opinion, is the impact of technology on your health?
That's a great question, Michelle. So the impact of technology on your health, we have been, technology has improved us along the way. What it's also done is it's challenged our health, because we now spend so much time in front of a computer, a phone, and we don't give our eyesight time to relax away from those blue screens. So that's one thing. We also tend to not put things away before we go to sleep. And when you go to sleep, your brain needs to reset. And in order to do that, we actually need to clear those blue light filters out of the blue lights before about 30 minutes to an hour before we go to sleep. So that's one thing that we're so accustomed. We go to sleep with our phone right next to us. You know, it's easy to pick up. It's easy to see that email come in. It's easy to see that text come in. And so technology is great for us. However, it does compromise our health just a little bit.
So when it comes to being a business owner, you know, we're reliant so heavily on technology, and I'm glad that you're bringing up the screen time, because I know it affects our eyes. It wears out our eyes. It affects our neural pathways, and there's all this kind of proof and evidence that we need to reduce our screen time. But with mobile devices, I mean, even teenagers, you see them, they're just laying in bed, just staring at their phones like for hours. And they're even watching their television on their phones, right? So realistically, many of them aren't going to remove the phone from their room. But I know I turn the quiet, like the little notch on my iPhone, I turn it so that I won't get any notifications. And then I turn it upside down so that even the screen, if it lights up at all when a notification does come in, it doesn't interrupt me. But I mean, realistically, let's talk about, you know, what are you seeing is like, for business owners, what are you seeing are things that are deteriorating their health besides just the screen time? Is there anything else on the technology side?
Also, let's talk a little bit about the stress of technology that's deteriorating their health. So technology, I mean, we say it's great for us. It's put our businesses in our hands with our cell phones, which is phenomenal. But what it's also done is it puts that stress level, because we feel like we constantly have to be in front of it, not just the screen time, but that email has to be answered now. That text needs to be answered now. I need to take care of this now. And that increases our stress level, because we are always in that fight or flight mode, thinking that this has to be done right now. That's one impact on stress. The other impact with technology and stress that I want to talk about is that there's so many changes with technology today. There's good changes, There's that upgrade. I mean, I just had an upgrade to my browser, and I'm like, where is everything? How can I find everything now? And that puts us under stress because we're like, things have changed for us, and change is good and change is normal, but our body doesn't always react quite as quickly as we want it to. And so that can impact, you know, whether you get angry or upset or excited over that change, that increases your stress, and that can put more pressure on your heart, on your kidneys, your lungs, everything. Stress affects every single part of your body. And so when you're focused on those pieces, that can makes a difference. And a lot of my clients have noticed that if they can find a way to mitigate that stress, you know, something comes up and then they're able to walk away for a minute, maybe somebody else can't walk away, but they come up with some process for them that will help them decrease their stress level in the moment, and that way they're able to continue being that business owner that they need to be.
That's a really super great point, Melissa. And I'm so glad we're having this conversation because on top of Corona and all the stress that came from that, now we're dealing with all these new technologies. When everybody had to go do the online world, I felt so much high demand for my services as a Tech with Heart leader because I was trying to like help them with the tech. But now let's talk about some coping mechanisms or some, you said your clients have different ways. Can you just share a few of the ways that people do learn how to cope with the stress that comes with changes in technology?
Absolutely. So one of the easiest and simplest things is to breathe. And it sounds very simple. And what I do is I teach a couple of different breathing methods, but one that's easiest, I call it the box breathing method. And what you do is you just take that second and you step back and you inhale for 4 seconds, you hold the breath for 4 seconds, and then you release the breath for 4 seconds. And if you do that usually twice, sometimes 3 times, your brain's able to just reset. And then what happens is you're able to refocus and drop down that cortisol level, and you're right back where you need to be, focusing on your business, focusing on the task at hand. The other thing, sometimes people just need to get up and stretch. We sit so often at our computers, our businesses in front of us, and we just need to get up and stretch. Take a stretch break at least once an hour, if not more frequent, depending upon where, you know, even if you're sitting or if you're in a standing workstation, you need to walk around. So take take 5 minutes and walk around, or take 2 minutes and walk around, depending upon what you need to do. And just changing that environment for just a couple of seconds or a couple of minutes makes a huge impact on your health.
That leads us right into our second point that I know we wanted to talk about, and that is self-care. Self-care, I know you normally work with women with a holistic approach to their spiritual, physical, and mental state. But as business owners, we all need that same balance. Can you speak to us a little bit about how we can approach a holistic approach to our health through self-care?
Absolutely. So self-care, a couple of the easy ones that I do with my clients with self-care is drinking enough water. That's a simple one. If you're not drinking water, start. If you are drinking water, find out how much you're drinking. You should ideally be drinking half of your body weight in ounces of water a day. So if you weigh 100 pounds, you should drink 50 ounces of water. And one fun thing that I have my clients do, because they're like, oh, that's a lot of water, I can't drink that much water. Find a fancy cup, find a fancy glass that you like, that is your water glass, a water bottle, and that's your glass for the day. One of my clients got this nice, really pretty pink one that had flowers on it, and she measured it, and it holds 20 ounces of water. And so she knows she has to drink 3 of those a day. And so she has a way to mark it off. So that's one thing. Movement, making sure, we talked about stretching, getting up and doing even just basic calisthenics. Depending upon your body type, you you probably need to talk to somebody before doing any type of exercise, but basic calisthenics, most anybody can do. And so just some regular stretches. And then we talked a little bit about this one, but the biggest self-care item is sleep. Making sure you're getting plenty of sleep and that good quality sleep. So we talked about, maybe trying to put the phones away, darkening the bedroom, whether or not that's darkening curtains, maybe you get an eye mask that you wear at night, and setting yourself a bedtime. And that's important, because setting a bedtime does a few things. It sets an intention for yourself. It helps you to kind of stay on track, and it gets you, even if you don't hit that deadline, that bedtime first time, you're eventually going to get there, and you're going to start saying, okay, it's time to go to bed. So you start winding down and putting things away. And so those are three of kind of the most important self-care items that I think that we should talk about.
No, it's great too. I would love to talk about, I know you don't necessarily always talk about technology, and I really appreciate you modifying your normal message today to be able to address technology and health, because it's such an incredibly important balance. We at Tech with Heart are really all about making entrepreneurs feel safe to join our network and to have a really safe, warm, heart-centered environment that they can ask good questions and not feel like they're not intelligent. Like there's a lot of people who are in the maybe over 50 age, and they don't like the way young people have all this technology that it was born in their hands essentially. They don't like the way it makes them feel when they have to ask a fairly basic question because they don't get it. It's just not something that they've been trained in their whole lifetime to, integrate into their life. But now they're realizing how imperative it is for business success in order to be, available online and to how to make sales online. So when it comes to technologies, even, I love the IoT space, the Internet of Things, the technologies that have come out that actually help encourage us to take good care of ourselves. Do you have any of those recommendations? Or, I can drop a few names, but I definitely love the idea of self-care and how you can use technology to help you with your self-care.
Yes, and I'm glad you brought that up. A couple of ones that we can use our phones foremost. If you have a smartphone, it has an app on there, whether you're an Apple user, an Android user, that can help monitor your stress level. Amazingly, it can do that. It can monitor your heart rate. It can monitor some of your movement activities. Also, there's some gadgets, there's the wrist things. There's a couple of name brands, and then there's even some off brands that will connect to your phone and help keep those apps. There's other things as well as there's an app that links to my scale that tells me, am I staying within where I need to be? And so those are kind of your basic ones. And then I do have available, there's an HRV one, and that is monitoring your heart rate and how well you're sustaining your heart rate throughout the day. And that's a kind of a specialized app, but that one's available as well. Those are the ones that pop off the top of my head right now. I know there's lots more out there.
Being able to do business online is crucial for survival, especially during times of social distancing. So how do you survive and thrive in the sea of digital noise? It's a lot like fishing. You need to know who your perfect customer is so that you can use the right kind of lure to attract them. We help you catch your perfect customer and retain them for future sales through highly converting websites, influencer mobile apps, getting you featured in the news and on TV. Hi, my name is Jerry Bowden, U.S. Army veteran and president of Revealio Software Solutions. Our goal is to help you rise above the competition, be seen as an expert authority in your industry, and embrace technology to stay competitive for long-term success. It's more affordable than you may think. So reach out to us at Revealio.com, and together we will make your business come alive.
Yeah, I love there's also some necklaces that I've seen that actually will tell you whether or not, it's time for you to get up because it can sense, how long you've been idle. Um, the phones are amazing. There's so many apps. There was a phase going on in the 2000s era where everybody's like, oh yeah, there's an app for that. Seriously, just Google it. If you want to keep track of your steps, there's an app for that. If you want to keep track of, like Melissa was saying, I didn't know about the fact that you can tie an app into your scale. I mean, it's kind of one of those funny things, like the scale, right? Especially during COVID, there's so many people who are like, oh wow, how are we going to get rid of the COVID weight? But keeping track of your weight is a great way to maintain self-care. But yeah, just something as simple as keeping track of your steps, or apps that will alert you every 20 minutes to get up and stretch. There's even apps that you can download that will walk you through basic stretch, like she was mentioning earlier, stretches or yoga positionings that you could do within those 20-minute breaks. That you need to just move your body. When you sit too long, it's just, there's, like she was saying, so many stresses to so many of your internal systems, but just your muscles, they don't want them to atrophy. So there's standing stations. There's recommendations where you can sit on a ball instead of a chair to keep your balance. There's those big yoga balls. So there's all kinds of ways you can continue to do your business while maintaining and utilizing your muscles, so that you're not just a big brain attached to a computer all day long. All right, Melissa, this is fantastic. Is there anything else that you would like to share about what you normally work with your clients in regards to health and how we can possibly incorporate that with our technologies?
I want to talk a little bit about the Eastern and Western, just so that people kind of understand what that actually means, and keeping track of that. So when I say Eastern and Western medicine, the holistic approach, I say whole health. So whole health approach, mind, body, and spirit, and looking at, your supplements that you're taking, as well as if you have any prescription medications that you take. And with those, we want to make sure that you're getting good quality supplements. If you're prone to taking supplements, and we want to make sure that you're not having anything that interacts with things. And so a technology that I use and that can be found, and it's not, you can Google most things, but you also have to know when you're talking about supplements and medications, you got to make sure that you're hitting the right source of information for technology. And so I have some technology that I use to make sure that what you're taking is not interacting with things. So there's pieces of technology that are specific to certain areas that can help increase the value that I'm able to add to my clients.
Can you share are you able to share any URLs or anything like that? Or you want us to just Google, or you want us to reach out to you to learn more about that? Because that sounds very fascinating. I think it's so important for us to take ownership over our own health. And technology makes our lives easier, more efficient. Technology is not meant to rule our lives. And that's why we're having this conversation today. Technology is imperative to utilize in your business, obviously, to create efficiencies and to create systems. And there's automations and artificial intelligences that you should be using, because that is the power of today's technology. But make it work for you, not remove your need to be, taking care of yourself. So let's talk. Do you have anything that you can share with our listeners?
Yes. So, ideally, I would love for you to reach out to me so you have somebody to help you interpret what you're looking up. But one of the best ones that I know, it's very simple. It's drugs.com. And that way you can find out information about, how that particular medication is going to work with your system, maybe a few of the key points about it. And it has a spot in there that you can click on and look up some supplements on there. And so that's probably the easiest one. Some of the other URLs are a little harder to get to. And some of them, several of them, I pay for the subscription to get to there. So you would need to go through me in order to find out more detailed and find out, does this actually work with my other medications and things like that. But the drugs.com has some very user-friendly and able to understand, and it's a good quality source to look at. It's not just Google it, but it's a valid source to look at.
No, that's fantastic. I was going to ask you to share a little bit about like what kind of people would benefit from reaching out to you. Like, can you give us for instance of what a perfect scenario would be in which somebody should really reach out to you to make sure that they are going to be able to get the optimal health for themselves?
Absolutely. So my ideal client that comes to me is usually a woman. I still work with men as well, but they're usually in their late 40s, early 50s, and they're looking for alternatives. They're looking for choices. They've either been told that they are stuck with taking something, whether that's a supplement or a medication, and they're looking for an answer. They need somebody to help them. They know that there is a choice. They just don't know exactly where to find that choice. And so what I do with my clients is I work with them and help educate them that, Western medicine might be appropriate or Eastern medicine might be appropriate, depending upon your individual circumstance. Everybody's a little different. And depending upon, if you've been diagnosed with a particular thing from a physician, whether that's a Western physician or a naturopathic Eastern physician, you've been given something or you've been asked to take something. And then you go back and you say, well, my symptoms are better. I'm doing better. How can I get off of this? And most of the time you're told, well, you're stuck with it. And that's not the case. For the most part, you can actually get off of something if you want, but getting off of it safely is one thing. So if you're looking for alternatives, you're looking for that choice, those are the ones that come find me. Those that need somebody to guide them on their health journey. Those who want to be able to know that they have a voice in the matter of their health care. And I want to encourage each of you, it's simple steps. You alluded to that when you first introduced me. Those are things, it's simple steps that lead us into the next phase of what's going on. And I think, especially with COVID, we've all experienced either ourselves or we've known somebody that health is important. And it's important for us to take care of ourselves now before something else happens. So being proactive is very important. And those are people that, they want something. They're looking, they're searching, and I'm here to help guide you.
I love it, Melissa. And you really are a really heart-centered person. And I really love that about you. And that's why I was so excited about having you on our show, because we really want to provide a network and an environment for entrepreneurs to reach out to other heart-centered entrepreneurs. And you are an entrepreneur yourself, but you also really have passion in helping people feel their best, be at their best, and reach their best. And that's why I was so excited to have you on the show. Can you share with us how somebody would reach out to you, where they should go?
Yes. The easiest way to reach out to me is to go to my website, which is drmelissabalizan.com. I know it's a mouthful. So just take a look. My last name is Balizan. And you can go there and you can find a few freebies. You can find some products that might be helpful for you. There's a place to book an appointment with me as well. So if you want to see, if there's a chance that you want to work with me. So my website's the easiest, drmelissabalizan.com.
Well, this has been excellent. I know that our listeners needed to hear this, what you had to share today. And if you are feeling that you have imbalance in your personal health, your spiritual health, mental health, and how to have tech health for your business, please listen to all of this repeatedly. Reach out to Melissa or myself if you have any questions about any of the technology aspects, because tech is such an imperative part of our lives. It's meant to be a tool. It's not meant to rule us. It's meant for us to rule it. So let's make sure that we help you find that appropriate balance. Melissa, I would hope that you would be posting regularly on our Tech with Heart network, little tips and tricks about how to help us keep that balance. That would be fantastic, because some of us lose sight of it sometimes. We get busy with tasks and deadlines and pressure, but we don't want to get sick, and we definitely don't want to have our health be compromised in any way, shape, or form. So thank you for today, Melissa. Is there any last words, any powerful quotes that you can leave us with to help us to remember to take good care of ourselves with our technology?
What I'd like for you to remember is that you have a choice in your healthcare, and it is your health. And so take that first step, take that first simple step to taking charge of your health today.
Awesome, Melissa. So reach out to Melissa at drmelissabalazan.com. We will put it up on screen for the viewers. And for those of you who are listening, last name is spelled Balizan. And I also want to just share with you that if you are an expert, whether it be around health like Melissa, or whether you are an expert around systems or business growth hacks or just business coaching, please reach out to me, because what I'm doing is I'm trying to bring different experts to the Tech with Heart stage to empower our entrepreneurs to grow their business in a rapidly changing digital environment. So if you are crushing it in your business and you have nothing but nuggets of awesome wisdom to share with our entrepreneurs, please reach out. And also, we'd love to have you join our Tech with Heart network. Go to techwithheartnetwork.com, join our network for free, or we now even have memberships where you can get your business listed in our membership directory, or even be an influencer in our influencer directory and potentially get paid to speak at other people's gigs. So please go to techwithheartnetwork.com. We're all about empowering entrepreneurs to be successful, and that could come from, you joining the network as an entrepreneur or coming in as an influencer, bringing value to entrepreneurs. We'd love to have you. Melissa, thank you so much for showing up today and providing us with this awesome information around tech health and physical well-being.
Thank you so much for having me, Michelle. I would be honored to start going in and posting on the Tech with Heart. I had forgot about that. So I will be posting some tips. So stay tuned. There'll be some tips coming soon within the Tech with Heart network.
Ooh, I'm excited. Thank you so much, you guys. Thanks for tuning in today. Have a blessed day, and here's to your success.